we did our research, scheduled appointments, and interviewed about 6 different schools here in the U.S. And the Waldorf school was the very last school we visited the Friday of our trip. We had sort of settled in that we were actually going to go to a different school. We made offer on a house in the suburbs. We visited the school the last day of our look-see visit to Detroit, and they interviewed Nina at the same time that they were interviewing us and showing us around the school, and they sat down and had a meeting with me after spending about 45 minutes with my daughter, and they nailed her personality and her learning style and had a dialogue with me about her that was just spot on, and this was 45 minutes after meeting her. And I left the school saying to my husband, these people know something about kids. I had interviewed 6 or 7 other schools that week, and no one had the level of discussion with me about Nina and what it would be like for her to learn that these folks had. And I just looked at him and said, we're going to be commuting down to the Waldorf school. So, as luck would have it, the deal fell apart on the house out in Bingham Farms, and we bought a house right here in the neighborhood so that we're close to the school. I needed my children to be in a learning environment that was going to be warm and loving, because they live with a person that's an A personality type that is really hard driving. So I got that part of the demonstration covered. It was the kind, gentle piece that I needed to make sure that they were going to get. My husband and I are both very focused on making sure the kids get a good, well-rounded education and that they're well-rounded people. And the idea of having the music lessons and eurythmy and the language lessons incorporated into their school day just really struck a chord with us because we think all those things are important. And so we were securing all of those experiences for the kids, you know, sort of outside of the learning environment, and the fact that we could bring it together here and have it handled was pretty perfect. The other thing is, I think we're typical American parents. We went into this thing, you know, you're experimenting on your kids, really. I mean, you're learning to be a parent as you have kids. And so we went into this thing like most American parents, believing what we see in the media and on TV and what you hear from your other friends about, you know, testing and making sure they do all of this. And what you don't hear us talking about in society much anymore is that kids need downtime, and that kids need reflection, they need time in nature, they need time to play, they need time with their friends. But kids need time to disengage from structured learning so that they can develop their personalities and so they can experience life and develop their interest. And coming to Waldorf brought us into that awareness. I always tell parents that are considering a Waldorf education that you've got to, you know, you got to have thick skin. It's a tough decision for parents because society sends you so many signals about testing and achievement and being focused only on that. And there's so much technology and materialism thrown at your kids that if you're trying to hold that away and give them space, you know, you're going to get criticism, you're going to get comments from your friends and your family, and I do all the time. So you have to defend yourself, and you have to be strong in your decision to be here at Waldorf, because this is a very different environment for children.